want to talk about this because this is one of my favorite memories ever, I think, with all of you, including with John. There was one night we were all sitting around and we got these chocolate mushrooms. Everybody was really terrified to take them. Like, nobody wanted to take them. Ilya hated the idea. And I think, Jason, you took the lead and you were just like, fuck this.
They came in a really nice package, first of all. And back in my day, you'd have mushrooms in like a bag and you'd have to sit and chew them, and they were like super gross. So this looked like really refined, you know? So I was like, oh, how bad can it be?
Before I even get into you doing shrooms, earlier that day we went on a hike and you had the fucking worst time.
Yeah, so all of us went to Runyon, and then it was Ilya's idea. I just wanted to take the short, long rampway on the side. The first hump, I was like, I'm not going to make it. And then the second hump came in, I'm like, I'm definitely not going to make it. And then after the third hump, Ilya was just like, Ilya was with me. All right, he stuck with me like the entire time. He was like, kept telling me like, oh, you got this. Like one more hump. And then, bro, after the fourth one, I'm like,
this doesn't sound like a hike. Ilya was with you, asking for one more hump.
Yeah, because like Alex and Mike, they were like, Alex has a fucking broken hip, and he was like up the hill. Mike is fat as fuck. He's still up the hill.
Yeah.
I was struggling. Like, Jason, I had no idea. Like,
No, I know.
I thought there was something wrong
And then
with
you
me.
passed
I
out.
think
Remember you passed out on the
Yeah.
hill when I was humping you?
Didn't he puke?
Dude, no, I was close
Yeah.
to. I was so close to puking, but I
thought he
didn't
did puke.
No, you
no,
did.
no.
No, he didn't puke. He passed out.
He was literally slowly passing out.
Yeah, I was literally like, bro, my heart was like out my chest, like feeling like
So
it was terrible.
even then, your morning started off horribly, and then at night
Yeah.
you're tripping on shrooms. And I remember I was driving that day, so I wasn't doing anything that they were doing. And John, like 45 minutes into his trip, starts fucking panicking, like the worst trip I've ever seen. And he's like, everyone's like, because I was like kind of sitting outside of the circle, and they're all sitting around and just like having such a good time, like just like watching a music video. And John's in the fucking corner, and he has a water bottle in his hand, and he's like rocking back and forth, like in the dark, and he's having like the worst trip.
It was just a lot of people, and I just kept looking at Jason, and he was having a good time. I wanted to match his level.
I felt so bad.
I wanted so hard.
I was
having
having the best time, and you walked up to me and you were like, I just see darkness. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
But everybody went out to the bonfire like pit at that old house, I remember, and I was in in your bedroom with John, and we were walking, and the whole house was dark because we didn't want the lights to be too bright or whatever. And I remember we were walking from the hallway, and John was clinging on to me like this, like for dear life.
Yes,
and I was like,
Yeah,
it's gonna be okay.
Like, I felt the safest to like Natalie for some reason. I was scared of Tay the most.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa, why Taylor?
Yeah. I have no clue, because she would always be like trying to like, John, do you need anything? And she'd fucking appear. I'm like, why? Like, and I told her, like, Tay, don't stand behind me.
I just want to give you some water.
It was bad, and then
It was so bad.
It got so bad where I was like, John, let's fucking go. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
had to
drive
leave.
you,
Get you outta here,
Let's get
yeah.
you to some like beautiful lights. So I was like, come to my car. We're gonna go drive down to Sunset. We're gonna look at lights.
Yeah.
you'll love it. You'll have fun. So we got in the car, and fucking Dumb and Dumber, Ilya and Jason come running out, bro. They just had their flip flops on. They're like, where are you going? Like literally this, like a scene out of Wolf of Wall Street, like when he's on Quaaludes and he's like stumbling out of his Lamborghini. And I'm like, Ilya, Jason, go. You guys are too loud for John. I'm gonna go take it for a
Why
ride.
did we get in the car?
Because we didn't want to be left alone.
Oh yeah,
There was literally like 10 other people.
There was so
house.
many people in the house.
we thought there was going to be like some crazy
Some
David.
fun,
I mean,
yeah.
to be honest, in my mind, I was like, oh, it's going to be some cool David venture. Like when you go out, it's
Right.
always fun. You always find good stuff.
We got in the car and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you guys, okay, just fucking shut up. And they hopped in the back seat, and we got down to the bottom of my hill, and I wrote in my phone, and I sent it back to Ilya, and I said, this car ride is for John, not for you. Shut the fuck up. And then I think Ilya like read it out loud or something.
No. I wrote back in the notes. I said, "You are a pussy."
And then he threw us out. He threw
And
us
then
out
I
of the car.
pulled over. I at the gas station. I said, get the fuck out. And
Yeah.
I didn't think John was going to agree with me at the time, but he was so fucked up where he was like, Ilya, Jason, leave now. And then what did I do? Like, I took John to Sunset Boulevard. He's fucking tripping balls. Like, having the worst trip of his life. I feel so bad. I'm like, I can't believe we're here. And we get to Saddle Ranch. I get him cotton candy. And we're just parked. And under where you can park, they have these string lights all around the parking structure. So, like, we're sitting in my Tesla, and he's just looking at the lights. I'm playing calm music. I have the fireplace on in the Tesla. And it's, like, really vibey. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm calming him down. Like, you're at this point, how are you?
I was getting calmer.
Yeah.
I was definitely calmer because it was just like I remember before going in that car, like my eyes. Every time I look at it, my eyes were like, holy fuck. They were like black. Like everyone's eyes were black. Like I can't stress enough. Everyone's eyes were black. Blue, black, yellow, black. It doesn't matter. They were all black.
And I finally got him to calm down. So I was like, let's drive back. And on our drive back, we're going through Hollywood Boulevard. And we hit traffic. Like fucking the worst traffic I've ever seen on Hollywood Boulevard. We're parked right outside the Chinese theater. So I'm like, this isn't the worst place to be stuck. Because the lights are beautiful. Yeah. John can look around. He still has a bunch of cotton candy left. Everything's okay. Yeah. So I go and sit on the hood of my car. Like I'm in Perks of Being a Wallflower. Because the traffic's so bad. So I'm like, I'm just going to sit on the hood of my car and show John that the vibes are fun. And all of a sudden, a fucking police helicopter starts circling like Hollywood Boulevard, just right above us, and shining the light like at our car and his car. John's looking at me like with the popcorn. He's like, yo, what's going on? And like he's slowly falling back into. I'm like, dude, it's chill. They're probably filming something or something's going on, whatever. Yeah. And then the girl in front of me, she's like sitting in a Camaro. She hops out of the car. And she goes, oh my God, David, hi. And she like freaks out and says hi. And I'm like, what's going on? And then she like snaps out of being excited to see me, like this, like goes from being excited to being like really scared. And she goes, oh, and she tells me what's going on, like super panicked. And I sit back into the car. I go back into the car after she tells me what's going on. And John's like, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing. Everything's fine. And I'm sitting in the car with him. And now police cars are circling the area, like on Hollywood Boulevard. And they're putting caution tape over the area where we're parked with our car. And John's like, what's going on? Seriously, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm going to tell you. But you can't freak out. Promise not to freak out. He goes, yeah, I promise. And I go, okay. That girl just told me that her cousin just got shot in the head, like 10 feet away from us. And he starts fucking flipping shit.
Yeah. Why did you tell him?
Well, because he was confused and it was getting really serious. And then the helicopter starts shining its light right on the fucking car in front of us, right in the car. And then that's the girl that came up to me. And then she fucking peels off, like hops the curb and goes down the alleyway, like over the curb and goes like through an alleyway right by the Chinese theater. And she was fucking gone. Yeah. Now we're sitting in the car. We're freaking out. There's two cars that look like a Camaro. They're like Challengers. So they're like muscle cars. And they're right in front of where the girl was. And then all of a sudden, fucking cops are coming up to both of these cars with their guns drawn in front of us. It's right, my car and two cars in front of us, and cops are coming up to the car like this on the side of the car and with their guns drawn, and they're pointing it at the car, and they're like, get out of the car, get out of the fucking car. And John starts fucking freaking out. John's like, I mean, I have video. I mean, he starts, I've never seen him freak out, and I'm just like, no fucking way this is happening. Like, it's like we're in the middle of this shit. You know, John, what's going through your mind at this point?
It was kind of bright there still, but then like when the cops came in, like they appeared out of fucking nowhere, man. They were like,
it was like a video game, like they spawned in.
How they draw like the weapons, like they were kind of like pointed at me and Dave too at the same time, like.
They weren't, but the way John probably saw it. And I remember the cops after putting him in cuffs, they took them out of the cuffs and they put him back in the car, and then they let us go. Yeah. And I remember they had to lift the crime scene tape to let our car through because we were in the crime scene, and they had to lift two different areas of it because we were in the crime scene, and then there's another tape that like protected the crime scene, and we were right in the middle, so we had to drive under two different crime scenes. And I remember we pulled up right next to the guy that got arrested, and he looks at us, and it's like still out of a movie. He goes, "Yo, man, thank God they didn't fucking arrest me. Look at all this coke I have on me." And I'm like to the guy, I'm like, "Yeah, I love coke." Like I'm just in the mood, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, bro, stay out of my live stream." And I'm like, "Fuck!" This dude's live streaming.
Oh my God.
And John's like, at this point, John's like, "What the fuck is going on?" and then we drive home, and it was just a fucking crazy trip.
I remember when you guys came home and you were like, I have the craziest fucking thing that happened to us, and we were all like sitting around the like bonfire or whatever, and Ilya like was laughing so hard that he fell back in his chair, and it was really funny to us. Like we thought it was the fucking greatest thing ever. And you came back and you're like, dude, the craziest fucking happened, and we were like, no, like the craziest thing happened to us. And it was just like your story is not comparable.
Backwards. John's a fucking suspect in the murder.